What's up, YouTube? This is Too Raw for TV. All right, I'm just gonna go right into it, man. I think the Chicago Bulls need to fire Jim Bowler, man. All right, he's not a good coach. Um, I think the Bulls organization has proven itself to be, um, in the past, with the exception of the Derrick Rose era, pretty much made a little noise when we had Ben Gordon or whatever. But for the most part, man, the Bulls have been a failure since Jordan retired. And Jordan's what, in his mid-50s now? I think that whole organization need to be cleaned out as far as upper management. I think Rhinestone need to retire. I think John Paxson and other dude, I always forget his fucking name, Garheld, whatever the fuck his name is. They all need to fucking go, man. All right, but at the same time, I want to give a shout out to Carmelo Anthony, the Portland Trailblazers. The media pretty much wrote his. The media pretty much had written his athletic obituary over the past year. With glee sometimes, saying that he was done. You know what I'm saying? That his best days were behind him and, you know, can't play defense. He can't adjust to the new NBA. And in the new NBA, he needs to be a spot up shooter. And he can't do that. And if he can't do that, he needs to go. Pack your bags and leave. Your career's over with. So far, he has been proving the haters wrong. And of course, the haters are issuing no retractions. And if anything, they're doubling down for the most part on Carmelo being done. They're like, well, they're trying to change the narrative to, well, he can't sustain this. He's not going to be able to do this the whole year. He's talking about coming back next year. I think that's a stretch. They never fucking admit when they're wrong, man. That's one thing I hate about most of those dudes in the mainstream media. They never fucking admit, sports media and the media in general, by the way. But when it pertains to sports too, they never want to admit that they're wrong. Never admit it. Carmelo Anthony through the first 6 games is averaging 17.7 points, 6 rebounds, 2.2 assists on 46% shooting, which is about his career average, 37% from three, which is a tick over his career average, and 80% from the foul line, which I think is about his average. So he's been vintage Carmelo Anthony, you know, and this is him being kind of like the third option on the team. He's exactly what Portland needed. He's exactly what they needed. Now it's early in the season. Portland is still, 8-12? But at one point in time, Portland was flatlining. Portland was dead. All right. And I think ultimately Portland will be in the playoff hunt when all's said and done. He's exactly what they needed. And you got to give a shout out to Damian Lillard for stepping up and helping Carmelo land a job in the NBA. And he's a perfect fit for this team. You could just see that Portland would be a better fit for him over Houston or OKC just because of the system. You know what I'm saying? Like Russell Westbrook and James Harden, especially Harden, they're so ball dominant. Well, Russell Westbrook too. They're so ball dominant that for other guys to be successful, you pretty much have to be a spot up shooter. That has to be your game. That's not Carmelo Anthony's game. He's not just some set, some setup guy. Some guy you set up to score. He's a guy who can create his own shot. And with Lillard, of course, and McCollum, though McCollum can try to act like he's Kobe sometimes too much. They score, but they don't always have to have the ball in their hands, and that's why Carmelo's a better fit for this team. than the other guys. And last night he was great, man. Carmelo, 23 points, 8 of 16 shooting, 11 rebounds, 4 assists. He's exactly what they need. And the thing about it, and Tika was talking about this in the chat, the thing about it, Carmelo still really doesn't have his legs under him yet. I think it's going to be around 20 games or so when Carmelo finally really gets his legs under him. 25 games, maybe, something like that, when he finally gets his legs under him. And I think Carmelo, one of these days, man, one of these nights, he's going to go off for 40. You know what I'm saying? And he's very capable of doing it. Um, this is one thing I do notice about a great scorer. You know, in boxing, they say the first thing that goes are your legs, right? That's the first thing that goes. But the last thing that goes, especially if you're a big puncher, is your punching power. It's the last thing to go. Now, eventually, Carmelo, if he plays long enough, he'll lose his first step, right? But the thing about it, that shot, that almost never goes away. You know what I'm saying? That shot doesn't go away. And with Carmelo's size, 6'8", 235, 240, he'll always be a guy that can score. You know what I'm saying? And I think it's asinine and foolish to sit there and say that this guy is done. He never was done. You know, and I've been a big Carmelo critic over the years. You know, I've seen some of those videos I put up. Some of the videos I look at him like, damn, man, what the fuck? I didn't have to go at him like that. What the fuck's wrong with me? Because I'm not a big fan of volume scorers being the centerpiece of a team. You know what I'm saying? Um, but at the same time, I do recognize that Carmelo Anthony is an all-time great player. He's the first ballot Hall of Famer, and he's proven. Look, look how many times last year when guys were overplaying the three-point line, right? How valuable it was to have a guy that was a mid-range master. Look at Kawhi, right? And I'm talking. There's no knock on Kawhi, but Kawhi is not the mid-range master that Carmelo is. So you look at the playoffs last year, you're like, man, what if Carmelo Anthony was on that team? Plus, he can hit the three. Carmelo's three-point shot is become a lot more consistent over the last couple of years. Now, is he Klay Thompson, Steph Curry from behind the arc? No, but honestly, honestly, I think he's a better three-point shooter now than James Harden, and that's just my opinion. You might not agree with it, but James Harden is a volume three-point shooter. You know, he'll have a night where he'll hit 9 out of 15 or 16 from three and look brilliant. But there's a lot of 2 for 17s, 3 for 19 games. You know, there's a lot of those mixed up in there. You know, so like I said, Carmelo is shooting 37% from three this season. For his career, he's close to 35% from three, which isn't bad, especially considering the era that he started in. You know, when he came in the league 2003, there still wasn't that much of an emphasis on the three-point shot. It was still more of an emphasis on the mid-range. So you got to take into account the era that he played in. And when you think about it, from the 2003 years, right, from the 2003 class, the big players, him and LeBron are the only ones left. Him and LeBron are the only ones left, really. I mean, I'm pretty sure there's still some players who were drafted in 2003 who are still playing in the NBA, but I'm talking about the marquee guys. They're the only ones left. Chris Bosh has been retired for a while. Dwayne Wade retired last season. It's just Carmelo Anthony and LeBron James. And if Carmelo is able, Tiki touched on this too. If Carmelo Anthony, seeing what we're seeing right now, and don't get me wrong, he's going to have bad games. Every player has bad shooting nights. So don't use a bad shooting night as see, we told you. We told you he was washed up. No, it doesn't work like that. For every 40 or 50-point game Kobe had, he had a bunch of games where he shot 9 for 26. All right? That happens. Shooters are going to have bad shooting nights. The way you judge Carmelo Anthony is his overall production throughout his comeback with the Portland Trail Blazers and whether he's helping his team. That's the argument. And right now, the argument is showing he's helping his team and he's been an asset. And another thing I don't understand about the Carmelo Anthony hate is that pretty much Carmelo Anthony, except for some TMZ gossip bullshit, which is really none of our fucking business, this guy's kept his nose clean for years. We don't Carmelo Anthony getting into altercations or getting into trouble outside the NBA. All right? This guy's really done nothing. You can't even give us You can't even really give us the DeMarcus Cousins arguments, like, damn, DeMarcus, why the fuck you do this? Why you do this? Why you get involved in this situation? Da, 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 da. Even though I'm pretty sure if we all were 25 years old again and were worth millions, we all would be getting in the same fucking trouble. Let's be honest. Imagine how you were when you were 24 years old, but let's give you $50 million in the bank. You know good and goddamn well your ass would probably catch 7 to 8 goddamn sexual harassment charges. Imagine it. Imagine the ego we all had when we was in our 20s. And just give us $50 million in the bank. If you're a superstar player, $100 million in the bank, and you got all these women around you. It's easy to sit there and lecture a motherfucker on the video, but you put yourself in that situation with some of these fucking sluts that's out here, excuse my expression, ugh. Some of us got in that problem and we don't have that money. So imagine us having that money. Ugh. Hmm. Ha. Hmm. Ha. But anyway, I think that the media really needs to start giving Carmelo Anthony more props, but you're not going to really see that. And it's a damn shame, man. Carmelo Anthony, well over 25,000 career points. And next up on the list, barring any type of serious injury, will be Kevin Garnett. So as far as him on the scoring list, so yeah, this is a guy who really can put in buckets, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is a guy that can score with the best of them. And you gotta admit, he's really missed a season. He did play 10 games last year, but for the most part, he missed an entire season almost. So this is a guy that really should be over 26,000, well over 26,000. Well, actually, this is a guy that should be like at 27,000 points right now. So, you know what I'm saying? People got to put some respect on coming out to his name, man. This man's one of the greatest players. He's arguably the greatest player in Denver Nuggets history. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think it's him and Alex English. I would give the nod to English because I think he played longer. You know what I'm saying? But I wouldn't get mad if somebody thinks Carmelo's the best player in Denver Nuggets history. And even with the New York Knicks, when you consider the situation that he was in and the teams that he had, he still was the last player, he still was on the last Knicks team that was relevant. And that was that 54-win team. I think that was 2011. I think that was 2012, 13? One of those years. Or was it 2011, 12? Think about it. Well, anyway, the point being, people got to start respecting this dude, man. Tell me what you guys think.